rumors are flying here in Washington, basically have been ever since Dan Snyder said that he might be open to a sale of the Washington Commanders. So the richest doyen of Washington, our richest resident, Jeff Bezos, let's go ahead and put this up there on the screen, may sell, and this is according to sources from the New York Post, may sell the Washington Post to buy the Commanders. Now, immediately this report was denied by Bezos, saying that the Washington Post is not for sale. But what the New York Post learned from a source that they say that was close to the situation said that Bezos had told the paper's senior staff in private meetings that while he had no plans to sell the paper, that there were others who he had reportedly discussed the actual sale of the Post to do so. The only reason why I think that this might be dubious is the man is worth, what, $200 billion? Does he really need the... Okay, he bought the Post for $250 million.
Yeah, does he really need proceeds?
The $1 billion, maybe, that he would get for the Washington Post, which is a failing business and has yet to turn a profit and is currently undergoing layoffs? Does he really need that to fund, let's say, at max, is like, what, a $5 to $10 billion purchase for the Washington Commanders? It could be, and I think this is actually more likely the case that if he does sell the Post, one of the reasons would be he just lost interest. I mean, remember, he bought the Post in 2013. That was kind of his respectability era. That's why he came in here to Washington. He built the largest house here in Washington, which is truly a sight to behold. At the same time, he started attending all of these major political dinners, like the Gridiron Dinner and others, the White House Correspondents' Dinner. But then his life all kind of changed after he started dating his girlfriend and started taking TRT and getting jacked and hanging out on yachts at St. Bart's and in the Caribbean. It's like he kind of resigned as the Amazon CEO. He's now like the chairman of Amazon, not involved as much in the day-to-day operations. It seems like his interests have gone much more in the Hollywood pop culture direction. So that's why it would make more sense for him to be one of the deans of America's billionaires, an NFL owner, right? Like, that's as good as it gets for a lot of these people in pop culture. Whereas with the Washington Post, that's more something that you want to own if you want to influence the political process. That's the only reason I think he might sell it.
There were a couple of other things that people were theorizing about why he might want to get rid of the Post. In particular, I don't know if you guys remember, he got into this spat with Joe Biden over corporate tax rates.
Yes.
And obviously, when you own the Washington Post, like, this is no longer just sort of your opinion being put out there. People then are going to look at the op-eds and the articles that are being written at the Post and take a look at whether they are being reflective of the view that you have publicly put forward. Like, you now are no longer just like a neutral observer out there having your take. It has huge implications for what is happening at the newspaper that you own and pay the salaries at. So some people are saying, okay, maybe he realized like he didn't like being muzzled this way. And then there's another little sort of drama with regards to any potential interest he might have in purchasing the Washington Commanders, which is that the current owner, Dan Snyder, who's got to be the worst owner in all of NFL football history as a long-suffering Washington sports fan, he hates Bezos and he hates the Washington Post. Why? Because they were the ones that did those investigations into all sorts of allegations of impropriety and sexual harassment rife throughout the now Washington Commanders organization. And Snyder, they said, suspects that Bezos encouraged that tough coverage in a bid to force him to sell the team so that he could then sort of pick up the pieces. So, you know, Snyder would have to agree to sell it to Bezos. And he apparently, reportedly, hates his guts.
I mean, that's
another complicating factor.
$5 billion is a real easy way to make that stomach. And again,
ultimately, these guys are all just a member of the Green Party. They care about the money.
Put this up there on the screen. Bezos immediately denied the report, but he's not ruling out buying the Commanders. I'd seen other speculation that he was considering bringing in outside. I know that this is the way a lot of people do it now. They'll do like a conglomerate, like a couple of famous people or whatever with some investments and then buy it, the team as a whole. I know they do that in the NBA. I'm not quite sure if they do that in the NFL. You're looking at a real NFL fan here, people, who knows quite a bit. But I do think that it is important because, for me, it just tracks with Bezos's evolution clearly in the way he sees himself. At first, he was donating all this money to the Air and Space Museum, $100 million to the Obama Foundation, naming the auditorium or whatever. He was going for the respectability game.
Didn't Dan Jones get a bunch of cash in that?
Yes. Yeah. Like, listen, there's the Bezos Genius Grants, which just happened to fund some of the non-geniuses in our society. Though he now appears to be much more interested in Amazon Studios, going to the Oscars, hanging out with The Rock.
Getting a bridge disassembled in order to get his new super yacht.
Buying a super yacht. You know, what did he got into that weird thing with Leo DiCaprio, where he like joked about Leo stealing his girlfriend, and now buying the NFL. So this seems to be the next evolution of Bezos. I mean, you know,
got some real,
it seems fun.
It's got some like real midlife crisis kind of vibes to it.
Especially that photo of him with his Miami shirt, like bawling out. Like, I think he literally looked like he was in Miami. It makes sense, he's from there. So maybe you could take the boy out, but that's something that clearly sticks with you. Anyway, that's Bezos's next evolution.
Hey guys, ready or not, 2024 is fully upon us now, and Saagar and I have been brainstorming ways that we can really up our game for this critical election.
Yeah, we rely on our premium subs to expand our coverage, to add staff, to upgrade the studio. We just want to give you the best independent coverage of this election, which is possible. So if you can help us out, become a premium subscriber today, breakingpoints.com, or the link is down here in the description video. It really means the world to us, and if you like what we're all about, this is the best possible way to keep us 100% independent, working only for you.